Hello everyone and welcome to the F1 corner ahead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, heading into the street of the city for the first time since Germany 2018. A Mercedes does not lead the championship, which is obviously great news for the fan after an exciting Monaco Grand Prix in multiple ways. Even though there was not many overtakes on track, it was an intriguing race. So can the teams who did well keep their momentum, and can those who had a more average race, let's call it that way, improve this week? Well, let's get to it already. Let's start with our championship leaders, Red Bull. So pretty much dominating the Monaco weekend. If you think that they were actually pretty tight with the Ferraris during that race. Max Verstappen winning, Sergio Perez finishing in fourth place. Very good result for them. Can Max Verstappen do it again here in Baku? Well, it is a track where they've had success before. In 2017, Daniel Ricciardo did take a win for Red Bull in Azerbaijan. So it is a track where the Red Bull can do well. Of course, it does not necessarily favor an engine that maybe is not the best, but we cannot say that for certain. But with one of the longest straight, if not the longest straight of the season, it is an engine track. What can save the Red Bull on that side is probably that second sector that is very slow and very slow corner, and requires a lot of downforce. This is where Red Bull usually is better at. But Verstappen, of course, is throwing the ball at Mercedes, saying that the Red Bull will not do as good as it did in Monaco, but I am confident that they can have a very good race here. Sergio Perez also getting a lot better with that Red Bull, finally unlocking the potential that he has. And fourth place in Monaco, showing that he could drive a car that he was not super comfortable with in those very narrow streets, shows that he is finally getting a grip with that car. Still away from Max Verstappen, but overall Perez getting a lot better. Baku is a track where he also performs well. 2 podiums for Sergio Perez in Azerbaijan in his career. Mercedes had a disastrous race in Monaco. Lewis Hamilton finishing 7th, Valtteri Bottas not even finishing the race. This is obviously something they do not wish to repeat. And Bottas, the wheel nut that got stuck on the car, they only managed to remove it at the factory on Tuesday, 2 days after the race. So it just goes to show you how tricky the situation was for that. They had the needs for certain specific tools that could only be used at the factory. I think it's not that surprising in a way that the Mercedes did not do too well in Monaco. Every car has tracks that they do not like to race on. Mercedes, they like to be at the front. They have a car that is good when there are high-speed corner, and when the track requires more of an engine behavior. But obviously Monaco was not for that. Red Bull historically has been better on slow corner and very high downforce tracks. So coming to Baku, both drivers, Hamilton and Bottas, won that race in the past. So both drivers can come here with confidence that they can perform. And really it's only a matter of what can they do that in that second slow sector, because I think in the straights, Mercedes have the advantage over the Red Bull overall. They've had it, since pretty much 2014, the V6 hybrid turbo era, and I think that it is still the case at the moment. So the question is, can they bounce back from 2 weeks ago? I think every team has bad races, and it was one of them for Mercedes. Red Bull did not have a very, very bad race so far. So really, it's only a matter of putting everything back together. I think this is a trade that favor Mercedes. If we go farther down the grid, McLaren currently sitting third in the championship, only 2 little points in front of Ferrari. These are actually 2 teams that expect to fall back a little in Azerbaijan. McLaren, I think they're going to be fighting for the third best once again. They have the car for it. They've shown it at the beginning of the season. They have a Mercedes engine. They have everything to perform well. Daniel Ricciardo, still trying to unlock what he can with that car, has done some simulator and analyzed the data with his engineer and the team. And, he had a disappointing race in Monaco. But given the man's history in Formula 1, for sure he can improve and will eventually unlock the potential of that McLaren. Lando Norris, podium finisher for the second time this year actually in Monaco. Does not expect to finish on the podium again unless he has a lot of luck. But for sure can bring a fight once again to the Ferraris in Baku. Again, like I said, it is an engine track, so favoring those with a Mercedes engine like the McLaren. So Lando Norris, I think, in a good position to finish at least best of the rest in that race. Ferraris, I expect them to struggle, even though Charles Leclerc can do miracles and Carlos Sainz seems to really be at ease with that car after finishing second in Monaco 2 weeks ago. We know that Ferrari are lacking on the engine department, and Monaco was everything but an engine requiring track. So coming to Azerbaijan, where power is a lot, I think it's going to be tricky. I think Ferraris right now are in a position where they will probably go behind a little. If I have to make a bold prediction, I would expect the Ferraris this weekend to be somewhere around maybe 9th or 10th. I think they could struggle for points this week. So we will see. Charles Leclerc has put the incident of Monaco back in his mind, getting pole, but after crashing, did not even start the race. Of course, it will hinder your confidence, but according to the man himself, that's part of the job, that's part of learning. He is still young and he will get other opportunities. Aston Martin, a team that did very well, relatively very well in Monaco. Sebastian Vettel getting his first points of the season in 5th place, and doing so even getting in front of his teammate Lance Stroll in the Constructors' Championship. So 2 cars in the point in Monaco, Vettel 5th and Stroll 8th. Again, Aston Martin, a team that is struggling, but they have a good engine in the back with the Mercedes. So just maybe Baku could be good for them. But I think where the issue is just with the car overall from what we've seen. Luckily in Baku there's not too many high-speed corner, which seems to be where the Aston Martin is struggling so far. So on long straights and tricky, slow corner and narrow corner could be beneficial to them. But I would not put my hand in the fire there. Still, after the good result they had, I think it's good for motivation for the team, and there are expectations that they can once again perform well. Alpine Renault, not the best of races in Monaco. Esteban Ocon finishing 9th and Alonso 13th. Ocon is just on a roll. He is performing very, very well this season, despite all expectations. Honestly, Alonso is the one that is not performing well enough. He said that his comeback is going better than expected, but not as expected. He would like to be higher, considering where Esteban is at the moment. For Fernando, the target at the moment is really to improve on qualifying. This is where he struggled the most so far. His race pace is good enough, but if he cannot qualify high in the standing, well, it just impedes your race, really. When the midfield is so tightly packed, you need to qualify in a good position, and this is where Fernando is trying to improve at the moment. So after a few races where both drivers finish in the points, and Ocon, like I said, really on a roll. Azerbaijan, for a team that is probably behind Honda and Mercedes in terms of engine power, this might not favor them much. But again, if you take the McLaren, the Red Bull, and the Mercedes, behind that there's 4 places in the points. So there is maybe one for Alpine. But of course, yeah, definitely a team that expected more this season, but overall should be satisfied with where they are at. Esteban Ocon is 10th in the standing, despite a car that really looked, let's say, not as good as we would like. A team that is also struggling and that we expected more so far is AlphaTauri, and especially Yuki Tsunoda. Rookie had a great start in Bahrain, first start of the season, and from there it's only been going downward. Luckily, he realizes what are his mistakes and where he needs to work on. Recently, he moved from England to Italy to be closer to the factory of AlphaTauri, so he can work closer with the engineers, with everyone, and more easily. So this is going to be good for him, because he wants to perform, and from what we hear of people who know Yuki Tsunoda is that for him it's running for the win or not racing at all. So he is constantly pushing, which is a great quality, but sometimes you can push too much, and you have to realize what are the limits of the car. And before pushing, I just also realize what is your own potential. What can you do yourself to prove to the team that you are worth that seat in Formula One? I don't think there's any danger of Yuki Tsunoda being sacked by AlphaTauri. I'm just saying that he must consider what he can do, and just really put it together, and just do one clean race to show really what he can do. Not pushing too much, because pushing too much ends up in the barrier, and there's for sure potential in him. A team that now will be happy to finally have points is Alfa Romeo. Giovinazzi finishing 10th, getting the first point for the team this season. Very happy. Whoops, dropped my notes. I'm sorry. Giovinazzi 10th, 1 point. It's not much, but it shows again that this car can finish in the point and has potentials for this year, even though they are probably aiming more at 2022 already. Raikkonen finished right behind him during the race in 11th, so that's a good sign. But Giovinazzi really showing some very big prowess so far this season. Out qualifying Kimi 4-1 so far. It is windy. 4-1 so far, and performing very, very well in the race as well. It took time for Antonio to really get his bearings in Formula One. He is there mostly because Alfa Romeo wants an Italian driver, but this year he is showing that, you know, maybe he actually really deserves to be there. And I'm not saying by that he's a bad driver or was a bad driver. Not at all. I think anyone in Formula One is better than any of us watching or listening to this video. But yeah, really unlocking the potential, making his place at the team. And you know, maybe it is a sign that finally the mentor, Kimi Raikkonen, has done his job and should think of, you know, giving the torch to someone else in a near future. Who knows? But very good job for Antonio Giovinazzi so far this season. And we get to our two final teams. Haas struggling and not expecting anything better this week. Nikita Mazepin still ways from Mick Schumacher in qualifying. And Mick getting a very, very bad race in Monaco, crashing in FP3, could not qualify, and during the race had some engine problems, finished last of the classified driver. Apparently he was devastated after not being able to qualify at the race. But you know, it's part of learning in Formula One. Luckily both drivers are in a team where they can you know, just take their time and where nobody has expectations of any kind about them. If anything, they might bounce back in Baku. We saw the two Haas fight with the Williams recently, so it is a possibility here again. As for Williams, George Russell's looking for points. Got close to points a few times this season and in the previous years, but once again, not really having a car for it. In Azerbaijan there is a lot of wind this weekend, and the Williams does not like the wind, but you know, maybe a little miracle. Still Russell looking for a seat next season, maybe at Mercedes, maybe he will stay at Williams, who knows. One thing's for sure is that probably every F1 fan wishes Williams the best for this year and for their future. So that's all I have for you today, guys. Thank you once again for watching. Remember to like this video and to subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss any update regarding the 2021 Formula One season, and especially this weekend's Grand Prix in Azerbaijan. I will see you after the free practice session, actually, on Friday. Thank you for watching and see you next time.